Okay, let's talk about the Canyon Aeroad 2026 CF SLX. And who is this bike for? So let's do a quick mini review on it before we get into it. So what does this thing do really well? Now, right off the bat, I tell you right now, this thing is a super sprinter. It absolutely explodes when you're pushing north of 800 watts through the system. And therein lies the problem, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit later. This bike is extremely stiff, and you really notice in the back end when you're really throwing the bike around when you're out of the saddle, it is extremely stiff. The other thing that it does really well, in my opinion, is a wonderful descending bike and it's a wonderful handling bike. People talk a lot about twitchiness when they talk about bike handling. And if I were to define that, I would say that twitchiness is about little inputs into steering, making significant shifts in terms of the direction of the bike. And that's exactly what the case is here. Now with the Aeroad, that's not a bad thing. This doesn't feel unpredictable. It just makes it feel really nimble, really agile, really like a fighter aircraft. Okay, so what does this bike not do so well? And unfortunately, I just wouldn't call this thing a climbing bike. Certainly, different gear ratios would make a massive difference here, but I just feel as though this bike makes you work a lot harder than you need to when it comes to climbing. And I'm comparing that to my top spec Giant Defy, which is an endurance, right? So cue the rage from everyone below. But I just think it's not a fantastic climbing bike. And the other thing I'd say is that this is not a comfortable bike. This, I really noticed it in the front end. This bike has 28mm tubeless tires, and you really feel that chatter through the handlebars. And yeah, the geometry is long and low, which I know is what it's designed to be. But if you're wanting a comfortable bike, then this isn't going to be for you. Okay, so who is this bike for and who is this bike not for? And quite clearly, this is for someone who's going to be doing genuine racing. Think crit racing. Think someone who needs a bike that's going to be responsive when they're consistently pushing north of 650 watts. Furthermore, if your FTP is sub 275 watts, I just don't think this is going to be the bike for you. It's going to make you work too hard, and I think you'd be far better off with something like the Canyon Ultimate or the Canyon Endurace. Similarly, if you're a social rider that might do an occasional sprint, but it really is there more for the social aspect for it, I don't think this is the right bike for you. And I've got to say, personally, I don't think the colorways that Canyon are putting out these days are all that exciting. I think they're better off going for those more interesting ones. Now, the second person that this bike really is for someone who needs a road bike and a TT bike, but can't have multiple bikes. I think if you throw a set of TT bars on this, you've got a more than capable TT bike. And this would be a wonderful way to actually have two bikes in one. So in summary, this isn't a glowing review of the Aeroad, but I still think it makes sense for the right person. So thanks so much for watching this video. Please hit like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference and I really appreciate it.